Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and yes, we have another very special guest in the house, and I shouldn't say another one because we definitely had this amazing guest before. Now, in sports, in hockey specifically, they call this a hat trick. This is the third time she's gracing us with our presence, and this is, believe it or not, this is not going to be the last time, but it is certainly a hat trick. Welcome for the third time coming on First Class, Second Place, none other than the great Alana J. What is going on, Alana?
Thank you, Jason Enrique. What is going on? I'm here, you know, Bravery Studios. What's up? Shout out to Marv in the back.
Man, you know what? She's doing my job right now because that's usually what I do. But you know what? But you know what? That goes to show that you watch the show.
It's because we got that energy. We got that connection. So I already knew, you know, I already knew what to do next. I already knew the order of operations. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I might just take a back seat and let her do the show.
Stop it. We need you. We need you.
Yeah. Well,
First class, second place needs you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I always say, we take pride in bringing first class people on here, and you being here on the third time is more than enough proof that you are first class tier people.
I love that. Does first class mean like classy? Because my mom would strongly disagree.
No, it's like, wow, nobody's ever asked me that question in 119 episodes. See, that's why she is who
I'm
she
specific,
is.
you know what I mean? I'm curious.
No,
I'm that kid that asks why too many times. You know what I'm saying? You're like, shut up.
Well, basically, in first class, second place is just an allegory about, you know, being the best version of yourself, but never forgetting where you come from. You know, because I think that everybody, you, me, Marv, everybody has been in that. Like, we're all great people, but we come from humble beginnings. So that basically is, you know, the gist of it.
Got it. It came right back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's my first time. You would think it's my first time here.
My very first time. And let me stop before we get flagged. Let me stop before we get flagged by Marcus Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
We do not own the rights to these lyrics.
Right. But anyway, there's no need to get into who Alana J is because anybody that's been a fan of the show.
Because nobody knows.
Yeah. People that have watched the show know exactly all what she's about, and we run in the same circles, and we know a lot of people and stuff like that.
A lot of circles.
But let me tell you something.
A lot of laps in those circles.
Oh, yes.
A lot of laps have been ran.
But let me tell you something. Yeah, I have to tell you, and I believe I told you this in person, but I'm going to reiterate it, and I'm going to tell it to the rest of the audience.
What you going to tell me? Tell me something good. We don't own the rights to this music. Okay, go.
So obviously we go way back. The you know, the Italian restaurant days. You know, slinging that rigatoni D.
Rick D all day on the fly.
Yeah. So I remember a couple of months ago, I was at the New York Latino Film Festival because you were in a great film called Playing Sam, written and directed by Ramon Pasante, who's been a former guest on the show before. Great people and everything.
Absolutely.
And,
shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to him. And I gotta say, that night when I saw the movie, not only did I absolutely love it, it was actually in my top 10 films of 2023. Oh. But yeah, spoiler alert.
I love that.
Yeah, but
we made it.
Yes.
We got accolades.
You deserve it.
Jason Enrique's top 10, baby. Okay.
Yeah. So, but you know what? That night was, not only did I really love the movie, but it was one of the most inspiring nights of my life. And you were a big part of it because I remember I remember us going back to humble beginnings of slanging that pasta and, you know, trying to like figure out our life in this world and so on and so forth. And then seeing you on a big screen in one of the biggest festivals that New York has to offer, and you making all these moves and so on and so forth, while continuing to be your motherfucking self, never changing. That is one of the most motivational things that I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Aww. And that makes me happy to know that I actually am doing something right with my life for being in those circles and knowing people like you in order to know that I'm actually doing something prevalent. So I just want to say thank you for the motivation.
That was profound, boo. It's clean. Thank you. That almost took me out.
It was. I mean every word, and I will. That's a night that I will never forget. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know that in front of everybody else here.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that night was. You know, it was, for me, it was shortly after my birthday, shortly after my graduation. And I had just, not to make it sad, but I had just, two of my cousins passed away back to back, brother and sister.
I'm sorry for your loss.
You know, I appreciate that. It's a part of life, right? It is what it is. So that night was like, it was really difficult to, not that it was it was difficult for me to justify celebrating. You know what I mean? It was hard. So the fact that it affected you in that way, it just, I don't know, it just makes it seem a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the best part was that it was a total surprise. I knew you were in the movie, but I didn't know you
What
were
was the surprise?
That you were there.
Oh,
I was under the impression that you were still in Louisiana, still going to school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I see you actually in the theater, making the rounds and so on and so forth, I was shocked. I was stunned, but I was happy.
Yeah, I was surprised to see you too. I was really happy that you were there. It was awesome. It was a nice serendipitous happenstance. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, I've been a fan of Ramon and everybody else involved with that film for quite some time. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if I don't have anybody to go with. I'll just go solo, which I did. But you know what? I felt in the end I was not alone because I knew you. I knew Black Rose. I knew Little Saison Packet. I knew
everybody was there.
Ramon, everybody. And even people that weren't even involved in the movie, like Ricky Rosario, who's been on the show before. So a whole bunch of people. And it really did make me feel like for a brief moment that night that I belonged.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. It's all about community. You know what I mean? Like everything that we do is collaborative. So
and I also say
we need each other.
Yes. And I also say that to say this. Sometimes you can't wait around for the right time or there's certain people to be around. Sometimes you just gotta just do it on your own and just go for it. Don't try to wait for the right time or, other circumstances. If you have the opportunity, just go for it. And I'm glad that I did that night.
Listen. 80% of success is showing up in life. So, sometimes you just got to show up and you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. So that was back in November, I believe. And
September,
excuse me. So that was back in September 2023. And now we are in January 2024.
Yes, we are.
What has been going on in the life of Alana J since? I know that you graduated from LSU now.
I did.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Round of applause.
Thank you. And what's been going on, Jason, is, just casually getting every single part of my life back together. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting because, yes, I'm from here. I'm back home, because for a minute after I graduated, it was looking like I was going to go to Atlanta.
Wow.
So, I went to Atlanta. It was great. Did a few shows out there, and it was awesome. But, when the apartments that I went to check out, honestly, it was like I might as well move back up here. I didn't really feel like I was going to be saving much,
Right.
And that was a big incentive for me to go to Atlanta. And then I also thought about it, like I have a huge community up here. I have a huge network up here. I've been plugged in with a lot of big decision makers, casting directors, for basically all the television shows I would want to get on. So it didn't really make sense at the end of the day to go somewhere else and start over, basically. So that's why I came back. And yeah, going from 2 years of every single day, all day, eating, breathing, sleeping, shitting performance.
Right.
I was on stage every single day. I performed in at least 2 to 3 different disciplines, if not more, every single day for 2 years.
Just nonstop.
Every single day.
Wow.
Every single day. There was not a single day in those 2 years that I did not perform.
Now, was that because you wanted to?
Whether I was rehearsing, just gonna clarify so people are like, she's full of shit. Rehearsing counts, okay? Whether it was rehearsing or on stage in a theater piece, in a play, or doing stand-up comedy, or singing, every single day for 2 years. That's what I did.
Right.
So being back and not having that, it's a little I don't feel grounded. Let's just say that. I don't feel grounded. So that's what that's what my life is right now. Is getting grounded again. I am performing stand up.
Nice.
As often as I can. My next show is at St. Mark's Comedy Club on the 14th at 9 o'clock in New York. St. Mark's Comedy Club.
Is that a Saturday or something?
I think it's a Sunday. I think it's a Sunday, the 14th at 9 o'clock. That's my next show. And
I mean, I don't have anything planned there. I might have to make a trip.
Pull up. Pull up. Anyway, so there's that. And, I did, when I graduated, before I graduated, I did sign with an agent. I did not have an agent before I was in school. So, I'm auditioning, I'm hustling, you know what I mean? Because you got to pay the bills. Like right now, acting is not paying the bills,
Right.
So that's a reality of being an artist. You have to be able to support yourself, and a lot of the things that we need to do as artists in 2024 require a little bit of an investment. Not everything, but a lot of things. You know what I mean? At least for actors, like headshots. It's easy $1,000.
Yep.
So when I was in school, my art was a priority. My art was a priority. And now that I'm out of school, it's like, okay, now I have to make supporting Alana the priority, while still pursuing the art.
Right.
So it's a transition. I'm in a liminal phase. And I'm just here open to what the universe has to bring my way. And yesterday I vented to you while I was on my way to the airport to pick up my boyfriend about all of this, about fear of financial insecurity and all of that. And you were like, Alana, it sounds like you just got to be patient. And you're absolutely right. I do. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and also from the last time that you were on my show, there was a writer's strike that was going on,
right.
And then you predicted it correctly that the actors were going to go on strike as well.
Right.
So now that strike is over, but during that time when you predicted that it would happen and then it ultimately did, how did that affect you professionally?
Well, I graduated into the strike, so I couldn't audition. And the stuff that I could audition for was, I got a few auditions. But as far as TV goes, as far as TV and I'm a union, so I can only do union work. So for those 3 months post graduation, which in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm coming out and I'm booking. I'm coming out and I'm booking. You know what I mean? I'm getting it. I'm going to get to it right away. But as soon as the strike happened, I knew that there was absolutely no way that was going to be possible.
Thank you, Marv. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Nailed it. He nailed it. But yeah, so that's how it affected me. I couldn't audition. However, I was offered. I did another play. I was able to do another play.
Right.
During that time, so that kind of worked out because LSU needed an actress of a specific kind, of a specific spice variety. Right. They needed a Latina. And their pool of Latinas.
You ever meet a Mendoza back there by any chance?
Huh?
I think it's so. There you go. Shout out to Mina Mendoza.
I don't know if you can imagine this, Jason Enrique, but the pool of Latinas in Louisiana who are actors is not vast. So they reached out to me. They thought that I was in New York. So they reached out to me. They were like, "Look, we'll fly you from New York. We need to fill this role. This show is going up. The show was going up. Rehearsal was going to start in like a week." So anyway, I booked that, and I was able to do a play through November. And literally, the strike ended. We found out that the strike ended. The play was called Roe, by the way. It was a play about abortion. It was very heavy stuff.
Like as in Roe v. Wade?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the story behind the woman who was Roe. Her name is Norma McCorvey. She passed away. Her name was Norma McCorvey. I played her significant other. I played her significant other named Connie. And one other character that was just in and out, a maid. Ophelia. Anyway, that was my name. Ophelia and Connie. That's who I played. But anyway, so that's what I did. Like shortly after graduation, shortly after I saw you.
Okay.
At the festival.
Right.
That happened, and then that brought me through November, and then a week after the show closed, got in my car and drove to North Carolina, stayed with my brother a couple of days, and then by Thanksgiving, I was back in Jersey.
Wow. So you're not the only one that has a brother that lives in North Carolina. I do too.
Oh, really? What
part? Fuck, I forget what it's called. I just know that he's fuck, I gotta ask him again. I'll ask him. But I've yet to go to North Carolina yet. I have to.
You haven't been?
No, I haven't. I need to.
How long has he been there?
About a year or so.
Listen, you gotta go see your brother. All right, you gotta go see your brother. You gotta go.
No, I definitely do. I just got to find the time, because
they get it.
I got some things going on, not to to my own horn or anything,
right.
But there's been things that have been happening for me opportunity wise, not just from the podcast, but now I kind of created this word by accident on a couple episodes ago where I now feel like I'm part of the actor sphere. So now I've actually dipped my toe into acting a little bit.
Right. I saw that clip you sent me.
Yes, and I can't wait for that to come out. Uncle Sid coming soon.
When is that coming out? What's the name of it?
Uncle Sid.
Uncle Sid. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when. I've been trying to get into contact with the with the director and the writer, me and a guy who's a fantastic talent and everything. But you know, she's busy doing whatever she has to do. So you know, all in good time. But I'm looking forward to seeing it, for everybody checking it out. But
awesome, I can't wait.
Yeah, and there's been other things that have been going on as far as that's concerned. My only concern right now is not being typecast, because on two different. So this is a funny story. One day, there was two different people from two different projects that called me, and they asked if I'm interested in being in this role, and the other one that said if I would audition for this role. Both of those roles were crooked cops.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm already, with the look that I have and the voice and everything, I feel like I'm getting typecast.
You got a brand.
Yeah.
You got a brand. You definitely got a brand. But you know what? It's not a bad thing to be typecast, especially in the beginning. It's not, because if you can get that type of role often, people will remember you for that. You'll become memorable, and then once you've done enough of that, they'll be like, all right, let's see what else he could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not really a bad thing. Just to put in a little bit of perspective. You know.
Now, honestly, that doesn't really scare me, but I will tell you what does scare me. So I was actually supposed to be involved in another movie. Actually, but the thing is that they haven't called me back, and I don't expect them to. And honestly, I really don't care, because
that'll happen.
When I was on set, I realized, like, holy shit, this movie looks like it's gonna be fucking trash.
Wait, so you were on set?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they basically just, like I said, they liked my look and they liked my voice, and they figured that I'd be perfect for this role.
Yeah.
They didn't give me a script or anything like that, but
I
knew the people in some way, shape, or form. So, I went there, I checked it out, I filmed a few scenes and everything. I think they're gonna end up on the cutting room floor, as far as I'm concerned. But while I was on set and we were doing everything, I realized, oh my God, this is gonna be horrible. And
why did you realize? What made you think that?
Because the dialogue was just so outrageous and egregious, and kind of like in 2024 now.
Okay.
In 2024, it's kind of the shit that would probably get you canceled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Racial stuff?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and everything is all self-financed, so the people that are making it, it's on their own dime, so they can do whatever the hell they want with it. But the point that I'm getting at here is that I don't get worried about being typecast. I worry about being involved with the Brown project that's gonna affect me in the long run. People are gonna see something like that, and my name is attached to it. I don't know if that's gonna do so much great things for me.
Okay.
But like I said, it looks like it's gonna be on the cutting room floor, and I'm probably not gonna be.
Did what you had to do entail anything that like went against your moral compass?
Not necessarily moral compass, but a lot of things were on the fly, and like there was a script, but there was also a lot of improvisation.
Yeah.
But I feel like my character was made out to be like some kind of doofus, and I just don't feel like I could pull off something like that, or maybe my insecurity won't allow me to pull off being a goofball of that ilk on camera.
Okay.
And I had to question the writers and the directors about the direction that we were going in.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a no for me, dog.
So I don't know if you've ever been in those situations before, if you've been a part of projects that you're not particularly proud of, but you just got to keep rolling with the punches, I guess.
Well, I mean, in the beginning, I did everything. Yeah. I did anything and everything I could. And, okay. Woo! Story time. Okay.
As the kids say, story time.
I will say, there were a couple of situations. In which I did not go through with projects. So I believe it was one of the first films I ever auditioned for. It had something to do with the train, the last train home, some shit like that. I don't know. I'll look into it. But I auditioned for this film, and I went to a table read, and then I believe I went to. I believe it was a rehearsal, right? And at that rehearsal, one of the producers was calling actors in individually to his office.
Right.
If I recollect, it was in an office, and he slid when it was my turn. He slid over paperwork to me, and it was a contract, And before I signed it, or as I went to sign it, he was like, "Oh, and you're okay. First of all, the audition process, I did an audition for a specific role. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was very, like, I think I just did a monologue, and then they were, like, going to put every actor in a box depending on their monologue.
Yeah.
Which isn't really the smartest way to cast, but whatever. Who am I? Nonetheless, when we're in this paperwork situation, this penmanship situation.
Yeah.
Stupid. That's stupid. He said, "Oh, and you're comfortable with the nudity part, right?"
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Wow.
Sir, what? And he was like,
hell?
"Yeah," and I was like, nobody mentioned anything about nudity to me,
Right.
and I kind of blacked out. I don't really remember exactly what he said when he explained it, but I was out. Out. I didn't sign it. I think that they were sending me emails and I never replied. Like, I shouldn't have gone about it that way. Mm-hmm. But this was when I was first, like, I had barely taken an acting class. You know what I mean? Like, I was just going into auditions like I deserved to be there. Mm-hmm. Like I and I did not. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? That was like 10 years ago now. You know, I look back and I'm like, ha ha, you were funny that you thought you deserved opportunities. You did not. You did not put the work in. You know, right. Today I can say I put in the work and I will earn everything that is for me.
So in other words, like if you were,
and I know I can do it all.
Right. So in other words, if you happen to be on a trash project, your mindset would be, it is what it is, but I'll just try to make the best out of what I can control.
If I was in in that situation, like 10 years ago when I was just starting out.
Yes.
You know, I wouldn't, if it was like here's the thing though. Here's the thing. The project doesn't come together till editing. Mm-hmm. You would be surprised. You would be amazed what can happen in editing with what you may think is basura.
I did think about that as well.
So the movie is made in editing. Mm-hmm. The television show is made, the medium is made in editing, period. Yeah. So, you know, oh God, I'm literally having flashbacks of horror situations on set right now. There was another time, I'm just going to get this one out really quickly. There was another time that in the script, after the fact, after the audition, I found out I was supposed to kiss someone who I would never in my life want to kiss with a 27-foot pole. Oof. And I was supposed to go in. It was a bodega heist. They had like a poker room, an illegal poker room downstairs beneath the bodega. And I went in and I was the distraction. I was the diversion. And I went in, and in the script, I'm supposed to seduce this guy, like not like, you know, fondle him or anything like that. But then you think that I'm going to go down on him. I
think I may have seen this in your acting reel, actually.
No, this is not on my acting reel.
Okay, because there was
nobody that I know, nobody has seen this.
Okay, because in your acting reel,
absolutely nobody has seen this clip.
Because on your acting reel, it kind of sounds familiar about this particular scene that I saw where you were dancing provocatively, but you were like,
no, I was angry. A stripper in that one.
I was trying to pull it lightly. Okay.
Why do you need to?
I don't know why.
I'm not a stripper in real life, and shout out to strippers. They be talented. That's some talent.
Okay,
that's some strength. That's some agility.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, I know people that strip themselves through grad school. Mm-hmm. You know, so I respect.
Okay.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but continuing on with the story that you got to get out.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was that's one of my favorite projects that I ever did. And that was very early on in my acting career. And that was the first project I was proud of that I did. But yeah, so in the script, I'm not actually supposed to suck this dude off. Mm-hmm. But while we were filming, I saw that he was, you know, reacting as though it was happening.
Right.
And when we were in between takes, I was like, I forgot his fucking name. I talked to the director. I was like, I'm not actually blowing him. So why is he acting like I am? Like, I didn't want to be associated, you know, with the audience thinking that I was actually blowing him.
Right.
I didn't want that to be the impression. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't think anyone will ever see this project. I don't think it has ever seen the light of day. Mm-hmm. But that upset me. Because
I really don't like that guy.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful, especially when people are coming out of pocket. You know, when they control everything, like you said, and it is non-union, and there are no parameters. Really, there is no. You know, I mean, there's no HR on set, but there's at least, you know, somebody in a union situation you can call the union, you know, if some foul shit goes down. If not, you have to advocate for yourself. But I had to do that for the stripper movie as well. Like, the director was talking to one of the actors, asking him if he was okay with slapping my ass with this money. He said, sir, like, well, I don't, you know, whatever. Club goer number 3, like, are you comfortable with, you know, her crawling over to you and slapping her ass with this money? And as he went to answer, I said, excuse me, I think that's a question you should be asking me. And the answer is no. I stopped.
Right.
I said, no. The answer is no.
Unequivocally.
Right. You know? Because I was already upset because I told them, as far as wardrobe went, that I was comfortable so long as my nipples didn't show.
Right.
You know, and I get to set, and the thing that they had me in, one of the first outfits that they gave me, and I was just like, dude, I had one request. I had one fucking request. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have signed a piece of paper had I. Yeah, anyway, whatever. So there are things that can happen. That can be frustrating when you're an actor, and especially in the beginning, you absolutely have to advocate for yourself and trust your gut in certain situations.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm a newbie when it comes to all of this stuff, so I'm kind of like picking your brain along with anybody else that's watching and listening that you know, have these aspirations and dreams and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
but no, I really appreciate it. But no, it was
dude,
just
especially
something,
when you're a woman, dude. Ladies,
I can imagine.
Ladies, like, literally all these stories that I'm telling you they're just bringing me right back to how uncomfortable that I felt, and I just dealt with it. You know, like, I just dealt with it because there is nobody. If you're the director and you're making me uncomfortable, who do I go to? Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and everybody's, you know, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
It's you have to be careful with power dynamics in those situations, for
Duly
sure.
Noted. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back to playing Sam for real quick because one of the things that I think I really loved about the movie, specifically the character of Sam, is she was relatable in the sense that she's a Latina, but she's not fluent in Spanish. I am not fluent in Spanish at all, and I'm Hispanic. And I know that you have some Hispanic in you, but you're not fluent either.
I'm Puerto Rican, bro.
I'm a Puerto Rican. I get
exactly.
it. So,
that's it.
Yeah. So
no Nintendo.
That's my line. Anyway, but
how's that your line?
I used to say that all the time.
No Nintendo?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
When?
Way back.
Give me. I need to see it.
You have to go back in time.
Because I'd be saying that. Are we the same person?
I don't know.
Wait, you're Puerto Rican?
No, I'm Costa Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm the other Rican.
You're the other one. Yeah, I didn't think you were Puerto Rican. Anyway, okay.
Rainforest, bitch.
So playing Sam what's her face doesn't speak Spanish.
Right. Yeah. So I guess it kind of made me realize that to my understanding, the actress that played Sam, she really does not speak fluent Spanish either.
I don't think so.
So what I'm guessing is that maybe that was an inspiration for something that actually goes on in this business, and you being somebody that is of Latino descent, and you're not fluent in Spanish, has that ever had an effect on you getting work?
I don't think so. I think I only have done one audition. No, that's not true. Well, my first role that I booked, they wound up throwing Spanish in the day before. They told me that they were going to throw it in. But I had already booked it. And it wasn't my Spanish that was the problem.
But you did what you had to do.
Cut that Spanish out, and I was very upset. But anyway, yeah. So it didn't. Yeah, in that regard, no. It did. That was just a thing that wound up coming up, and those things do come up. But no, I don't think it's ever interfered with me getting work.
All right, well, that's good, because that was something that I was worried about, because I was like, even, take acting out of it, or even just entertainment in general. I would get chastised a lot for the fact that, I'm Colombian and Costa Rican, but I'm not fluent in Spanish at all, and I'm 37 years old. I should know a little bit about a thing or two, but I don't. Exactly. So I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you how many times.
Una o dos cosas.
I can't
you
tell
need
you.
to know cositas.
I got it. I can't tell you how many times when I would go when I'm dating or like I'm on an app or whatever, and I let women know that I'm Colombian.
On an app?
But those.
You said an app?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard it correctly.
And
not an appetizer, an app. No. Got it. Okay.
No, but so I would say that I'm Colombian,
and
they would be like, "Oh my God, I love how Colombian men talk Spanish." I'm like, "Yeah, you're shit out of luck with me."
I love how Colombian. My ex was Colombian, so he didn't even. He barely spoke English.
Oh my God, you look like
we barely communicated. I don't know how we could. Oh God,
you're looking like you have a Vietnam flashback right now.
Yeah. He was not a red flag. He was a dumpster fire.
Jesus
is what he was. Like, I kid you not. If I gave you the stats, you'd be like, Alana, what the fuck were you thinking? And we just connected. And non-verbally, because that was the only way we could.
It ended just like it started.
Oh my God, it was absurd. But that's another story for another time.
But it looks like you're in a better position now.
I am.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I actually love seeing you happy. I know we've known each other for a long time, and I know you've had a little bit of ups and downs when it comes to the dating world and everything.
A little shit.
Yeah, well, I'm putting it mildly, but yes. Well, don't forget there was.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Let's not forget we did lose contact for quite some time, so I didn't know what was going on too much in the life of Alana J, and that's your business anyway.
Yeah. But not much, situationships. That's it.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Meat sticks. That's it. Just some.
But in all the years that I've known you, seeing you this happy is definitely a great change of pace, and I'm really happy for you in this aspect as well. I'm just really proud of everything that's going on right now. I know that you kind of are. We had this conversation yesterday privately on the phone, and you had some concerns and so on and so forth. But I honestly see great things for you, and it seems like you're doing a lot of good things. And this is kind of something that even Marv will attest to, because I'm the type of person where I understand that there's a lot that's going for me and so on and so forth, but that's when my imposter syndrome starts to kick in, or I start doubting myself or whatever. But he and along with a couple other people are a constant reminder about what I should be thankful and grateful for what I have as opposed to what I don't have. So I really appreciate being in that community and that circle. And again, I'm just really happy where I am right now in life with the people that I'm surrounded with. And I think it's about fucking time, because I don't know where the hell this was in my 20s and my early 30s.
Listen, what is for us when it is for us, and that's something that I have to remind myself on a regular basis. And I appreciate you bringing up gratitude, because I am super duper big on gratitude. It's like, I think a lot, like sometimes fear can eclipse that for me, Because, I know I come off the way that I come off, but like... Yeah,
and I'm glad that you said that, because
I'm a pussy.
You come off as somebody that is very confident, and, you got the world by the balls and so on and so forth, but you're human,
I am human, and I definitely have my ups and my downs, and, I feel like they swing so, especially as an artist, they swing so high and so low. But I know I'm gonna be all right. I know what I'm capable of. I am working on another project that I'm expanding I had to do a one-woman show for my thesis.
I remember you did tell me that.
Yeah, for my thesis. So it's part stand-up. I actually repurpose some of my jokes from some of my sets. It's not all my jokes from my sets, you know what I mean? But I repurposed some of them that were a part of, that the truth came from this point in my life, this time in my life, that the show is about, which is about my, prepubescent years, I guess. So like, I'm 12 years old in the script. So I'm really excited to work on that. And I'm just stating that for manifestation purposes and accountability purposes, because I have people who are excited about it. And, I'm the type of person that what I like to consume as an audience member is the stuff that makes you feel fucking everything. Everything, you know? You laugh your ass off, you're brought to tears or almost, you know what I mean? That roller coaster of emotions. And I accomplished that with this. And like it's like equally heartbreaking and hilarious. One of my friends that I showed it to, he was like, I feel like it's just a smidge funnier than it is poignant. And I'm like, good, because I'd prefer that. You know what I mean? But I'm really excited. So just stay tuned for that. And I'll definitely invite you out when I'm workshopping it.
Oh,
which will happen in the next few months.
Nice. Thank you very much. Now, also, one other thing that I'm proud of, and I want to ask you how it's going. How's your sobriety?
Good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't had a drink in, it'll be 7 years.
Oh, round of applause real quick right there, Marv. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, we talked about this before on the show, but I'm just following up on you because I know, there's been a lot that's going on and, you have your ups and downs, but I'm really glad that to see that you're staying really strong with your sobriety.
Yeah. I mean, I just know that if I were to revert to that person that you knew at Maggiano's, who was doing bumps in the family bathroom, sometimes off the changing table. Anyway, I know. I painted the picture. We were wild, okay? We were wild. Anyway,
with a capital H.
I was a little Pocahontas, you know what I mean? For a little bit. I had a chapter. I had a little Pocahontas chapter. That was a chapter. The chapter has closed. That's it. That book has, I burned that book. Fahrenheit.
What was that thing that you said about
anyway,
Jose?
Huh?
What was that thing you said about Jose Cuervo? Like, I don't know.
What about him?
I don't know. You said a joke. It was really fucking fun.
Have you ever blacked out and woken up in a relationship with two Jose's?
There you go. That's what it was.
That's why I had to stop. Yeah. Anyway, stupid. So dumb. So fucking dumb. I'd be saying a lot of dumb shit. You know what I mean? But that's the point.
It came out with a great line. So you're turning your pain into art.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what we do. We transmute. We're transmuters.
Yes.
That's what we be doing. What the hell? Well, I was saying something. Oh, yeah. The point of that whole tangent was that if I reverted back to that, I would be worthless. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing right now and that I aspire to do. I can't. Yeah.
But that's an inspiration. I love that,
I appreciate it.
Just keep it up. I know you're going to keep it up because it's been doing great. I mean, 7 years, that's a hell of an achievement right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. And it's crazy because like I remember being around the time we met and like in the back of my mind knowing like I am not going to be able to do this forever. There's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to do this forever. If I do this forever, it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? So I kind of in the back of my mind always knew that one day I was going to have to stop the party.
And
you know what I mean?
And that's interesting because there's people out there that doesn't even click into their head at all.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy, and that's why they're still stagnant to this day.
Yeah. But let me tell you, I've a lot of friends ever since I stopped. Seen a lot of my friends stop.
Right.
Not all of them, but
yeah. Now another thing that I also was thinking about the other day, and it's interesting, and I'm glad that this whole thing happened. This is first and foremost, I want to let people know that you kind of came in clutch because you were not originally scheduled to be on here.
I was not.
But you came in clutch and you saved the show and so on and so forth.
I wasn't supposed to be here.
But you're always family and you're welcome here anyway.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But I was thinking to myself, and I think this actually kind of plays into my imposter syndrome, and it's kind of coincidental and serendipitous that you're here of all people. I look back at around the time when you and I used to work, and my anxiety and my social skills were fucking shot to shit. And
you were also what 20 something?
Yeah.
20.
I was
early 20s.
Yeah. Listen, I had my own problems, and I didn't want to share them with the world anyway. And it was nobody's business anyway. But one thing that I've noticed is that I've made so much progression and so much of myself since then. I'm certainly not the same person that you met all those years ago, and
I know.
And I appreciate that. But there are some people out there from our past that still kind of see me as that same person that I was back then.
Fuck them.
I know, and I continue to say that. What I say is that
fuck them, fuck them. Suck your dick, they can eat a dick, eat a bag of dicks, a bag of dicks, a bag of dicks.
Yo, that's going on Instagram. About to copyright
I hope
that
you
shit.
choke on that bag. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie, yo.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend the other day, I think I was maybe even telling my boyfriend, like, I dated someone that I met in recovery, and yo, he got me so angry, yo. I'm not even lying. He was the last dude to meet my grandma, which was a big reason why I'm like, you motherfucker, you didn't fucking deserve to meet Abuela. You didn't fucking deserve it, you piece of shit.
That's
Anyway,
sacred ground right there.
But low key, Jason, this was my thought. My titi asked me about him. Oh, so how? I said, I hope that motherfucker relapsed. Like,
and can we get a savage? Can we get a savage?
I meant it. I meant it. I meant it. You know, like, yeah, like I hope he's alive. But I do hope he's gone through some things since that happened. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I hope. He's been through an emotional tornado.
Just be an asshole, not a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Anyway, I'm just being honest that I that's how I feel about some of my past meat sticks.
Right, but getting back to what I was mentioning earlier, I've recently learned that I gotta keep. If they look at me as the past Jay, then they just belong in my past with the past Jay, and they don't need to. But it's just really sad that there's some people out there that you've proven with your actions instead of your words, or you've proven with words but mostly actions, but they still refuse to see that change in you. And it's really jarring to me, the stubbornness and how people are just like narcissistic in their own ways, and they just refuse to see. They're just always going to paint you in that negative light.
Do you need these people to see that you've changed? Do you need them to?
No, I don't. Maybe once upon a time I used to, but I'm glad
you didn't need them to. You wanted them to.
Correct.
You didn't need them to. Right. It's a desire.
But I've learned to fuck off since then.
Yeah.
But
sometimes we gotta fuck off.
But that was something that
sometimes self-love is fucking off.
Yeah. But the point that I'm bringing out here is that it's amazing how some things like those that are so minute can have a detrimental effect on your mental health.
Dude, listen. We would have to do a paid private podcast to really unleash all of that you just.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
You just tapped into right now. We're not going to do that. I'm going to protect the
right.
They're not innocents in my heart, but the civilians.
I am working on a subscription-based podcast that's coming out soon. I'll just put it
okay.
out there, so.
Plug that. But yeah, it is. You know, you kind of you just gotta pray on these things. You know, like that's all we can really do is just pray that feeling. That stupid feeling that you don't want to have goes away. You know what I mean?
But you know what I think it also was at the time?
And wish them the best.
Right.
You genuinely have to wish these people the best.
Well, that's a little bit difficult for me because...
So I should retract my statement about wishing this dude relapse. That's not nice.
Right.
I acknowledge that. Well, I'm not a bad person, but he did hurt me.
Well, that may be a little bit difficult for me because I don't wish people the best, but I don't wish them the worst either. I just don't wish them anything. But I think what really... I think what bothered me and why I wanted these people to actually acknowledge the change in myself was because I see that they were doing much more better things in life. They evolved as well. Maybe they've gotten married, they had kids, and they made careers themselves. They're not in the restaurant business anymore. And here I am, I'm stuck in the same position that I am physically, but as far as like who I am as a person inside, mentally and emotionally, it's progressed.
Yeah.
But people can't see that. But you know what? Like I said, I learned to let it go a long time ago. But there was a time
you can't be everybody's light,
right?
But
there was a time where it was pretty detrimental to me. But I'm really glad that I've been able to wipe the slate clean off of that shit.
I feel you on that. I've had to especially right around pre-pandemic or going right into the pandemic. I had to let go of some things that it still bothers me a little bit to this day, and I still kind of wish things were different, but it's all about acceptance and just doing the next right thing for you and knowing that you're a good person.
Yes.
And nobody can tell you that you're not. and you have value and you is kind, you know? And keep your head up. That's it. That's all we could do. That's all we could do.
2024 is all about self-love, people.
It is. Absolutely. It's about self-love, you know, and
yeah, and that's a big lesson that I also learned in 2020.
I just want to be of service too.
Yes.
How can I be of service? You know what I mean? And how can what value do I have what value can I offer you? Whatever it is, I want to do that. That's how I'm trying to approach this year.
Right.
You know, where can I be of service and offer value?
And
align me with that.
And I also learned, you know, going into this year, 2024, a big lesson that I learned in 2023 is it's okay to be a little bit selfish because I can't.
It's a bad rep, selfish. That word.
I don't give a fuck though because
no, I'm just saying that the word selfish it gets a bad.
It does.
It's not. Like you said, it's not bad. It's not always a negative thing. It always has a negative connotation, is what I'm saying, well, and it shouldn't.
And I learned that I have to limit some things. Like I can't allow to bring the entire world into everything that I'm doing, and then afterwards you see how people could use that against you. That's what I've learned in this past year.
Wait, say that again.
Well, because like you try to be everybody's friend. You try to be cool with everybody. You're trying to, have everybody and everybody love you. And then afterwards, like, you welcome them into your world. And afterwards, things tend to go haywire because of clash of personalities and so on and so forth.
Yeah, because it's not possible.
Yeah, but the thing is that the point that I'm getting at is that 2023 was a huge eye-opener for me in so many ways. And I want to apply what I learned in this past year into this year and beyond. And knowing what I've learned in this past year is making me more confident and happy and excited for what's to come going forward.
Good.
By the way, my brother said it's Wake Forest. That's a part of North Carolina he's from.
Wake Forest?
Yes.
I don't know where that's at. My brother's in you're not gonna know anyway, but we could pretend.
Yeah,
we could pretend. We could pretend. You know what I mean? But we're fucking from up here. You know what I mean? He's from fucking Durham.
North Carolina.
Come on and raise up. Pick your shirt off. Put it around your head. Swing like a helicopter. I fucked that up, but I used to know it very a lot better. Yeah. Shout out. He's tuned in. He's locked in. I know it.
You better be.
That's it.
Yeah.
We coming.
So, another thing I also wanted to talk about was, I remember years ago, many moons ago, when you had your little web series from back in the day, and that's when I caught up on everything that you've been doing ever since we lost communication. And we don't have to talk about too much of that because we already discussed it on previous episodes. But what I like about that was that it was your project. I mean, you were acting in it, but you were in control of it. You were writing, you were producing the whole nine and everything. So it led me to believe that in this business, sometimes you can't just wait for anything to just be hand delivered to you or fall into your lap. Sometimes you gotta work on your own thing. Like I have my previous guest, Eileen Marseille, shout out to Eileen and her boyfriend Joel. They didn't wait around and wait for other projects to fall in the lap or look for auditions and go cast a wide net or anything. Right. They actually took it upon themselves to make a short film, doing what they love doing, which is acting and writing and directing and keeping it fresh. And I'm looking forward to seeing this project that they got going on. But I just love the fact that they're able to expand their talents beyond just acting, and they're doing something that they created out of basically thin air. And again,
it's spiritual. It's a spiritual process. Creation is spiritual. And, it's kind of mandatory in this economy for us as creatives, as actors. Like you said, you can't wait around. You can't wait around for stuff. At this point, if you don't have evidence of what you can do on screen, not that no one's going to cast you, but television shows, and all that stuff. It's hard to get on those shows with no video evidence of you acting, right? So sometimes you got to create that. Sometimes you have to create that stuff.
Do you see yourself doing something of that again, of that ilk?
I mean, probably not a web series.
No, not a web series. I'm just talking about any project in general.
Maybe a series at some point. But yeah, I mean, right now it's not for screen, but my solo show is a similar endeavor. But honestly, it's kind of easier because the assignment was for it to be super minimal. So all I need is my body my costume, and like 4 props, and I can do the entire show.
And how long is this show?
Currently it's 20 minutes, and I'm gonna expand it to 45 or 50.
Wow, kudos to you.
Yeah.
A one-woman show also.
Well, it was like we were kind of all coming in at 30 minutes, so we all had to cut. We all had to make cuts. So it was 30 minutes originally.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
But yeah. So I am going to be, that's the goal, 45 to 50, because hopefully with laughs, that brings it to about an hour, you know?
And I know you're always writing as far as the comedy circuit is concerned and everything. How's that going for you? Like, what other, besides what you mentioned earlier, what else can we look forward to as far as the comedian, Alana J?
Shoo, you could look forward to just seeing me never get off stage. That's that's the main thing that you can look forward to, you know? I mean, right now it's a little slow because I am in a little bit of a transitional period. You know, it's everything that I talked to you on the phone about yesterday. So, but we're revving that engine back up. I am going to be producing some shows.
Nice.
I am going to be producing some shows. I've talked to some people. I have to, pitch a couple of them to specific places, but that's again creating my own opportunities. I definitely find, I don't want to say I find, I'll say that. I will say it. I find more fulfillment when I get to do the things that I create.
Yeah.
That one woman show, even though it was only 20 minutes, like it took everything out of me. I put everything. I left nothing. I left everything rather on stage. I left everything on stage. You left it all. I left everything on stage. Like so much so we only did 2 shows, 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. Saturday after the first night. And we also had dress rehearsal like all week, actually. We had dress rehearsal all week. But come Saturday, I was like, I don't know if I have it in me.
Really?
I don't know if I have it in me. And that's the thing. Huh?
That self-doubt in the back of your head?
No, it was energy.
Oh, the energy.
The energy. I didn't know if I had the energy in me. I was like,
Jesus. How
am I about to go out and do what the fuck I just did last night again? How am I going to do? I'm so tired. I am so, because I was in school too, doing a play, teaching, everything. But that's, as actors, that is our job. Even when you're not ready, you pull it off. And guess what? I pulled it the fuck off.
Pulled the fuck off, yep.
Because that's what we do. That's what we do. Any moment that I felt that way, anytime I've ever felt that way, how am I going to do this right now? I just, bitch, you know how? You fucking stand there and you do it. And then I always do it, But yeah, anyway, sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't know where I was going with that. But let me just say this. And I don't know if I said this last time I was on the show, but going through the journey that I went through, getting my master's and doing, like I said, performing in multiple disciplines daily for 2 years, I have so much more respect for performers.
Yeah.
I have so much more respect for people who, put themselves through some sort of, even if you didn't put yourself through some sort of training like I did, like a 2-year program or anything like that. I just have so much more respect for the craft.
Yeah, no, I get that, because when I directed that TV show that I told you about a while back, where you guys can find on YouTube now, it made me gain a lot more respect for what filmmakers actually do. I knew basically from face value what I've seen on like making of featurettes and what they talk about in film festivals and so on and so forth. But when you're actually in the trenches, actually like in the shit, it's much more, it's more jaded, but it makes you, and it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun to do, but you really find out how much really goes into the process, and it just makes you appreciate it that much more. And but I'm glad that I went through it, because I feel like I've gained a lot more respect and appreciation for people like Ramon or Ricky Rosario or anybody else that I've worked with recently in certain projects. And I think that's also made me realize that even if there's those projects that are not so, they're kind of shitty or whatever, you have to appreciate the process at the same time.
Yeah, you're always gonna. That's the thing. You're always gonna learn. And you will learn a lot from the people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. You will learn a lot from those.
Isn't that profound?
You will learn a lot from those people too. Like, well, I know not to do that. I know to do this. I know that they didn't think about XYZ, and I would have thought about XYZ, you know? So you learn a lot. And that's why, like I said in the beginning, I was going any set that I could get on, you know, I would be on. But yeah. It's definitely.
And last but not least, what is the status of misleading?
What is the status of misleading Jason Enrique? She'll be back.
Okay.
She'll be back. The status right now is Operation Get My Life Together. That's the status.
Okay.
Right now.
For those that don't know what I'm talking about, is her podcast Misleading with Alana J. I need to preface that. So, you know, aside from being a comedian and actress and all this other stuff, you are a podcaster as well.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I have a little season out, if you want to call it that.
Right.
At the end of the day,
you have more episodes than I know some people out there that attempted to try it.
Right,
so.
right. You know what's funny? Is that, you know, my background's in radio. Anyway, we're not going to get into all that. We're not going to get into all that.
We've been there before.
Been there before.
Yeah, you guys can check out the first episode of her appearance.
We've definitely been there before. But if Misleading doesn't come back like in full force, I will have another iteration.
Okay.
Of something different and more specific. But I'll be back. I'll be back in the podcast sphere.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm just looking forward to everything that you've been doing. I'm so proud of everything that's been going on. Trust me, you're a hero in my eyes. I understand that you're human and you have your moments of, you know, whatever and so on and so forth. And I'm very appreciative that you could open yourself up to somebody like me, because this is something that I never thought we had that kind of camaraderie way back then. And I'm just really glad that we've been able to really progress our friendship, and we're still here, and I love the fact that we're going to be working together, and we're still working together in the whole nine. And I never thought back then that we would have this kind of camaraderie and friendship, but you know what? I wouldn't take it back, and I'm going to always be appreciative as much as I am right now.
Aw, thank you, Jason. Likewise.
All right, well, time flies because, you know, having fun, but, you know, it's about that time.
It's about that time. We don't own the rights.
Right. But anyway, Alana, again, thank you so much for coming through in clutch. This is unexpected, but it was a great surprise. And like I said, you're always welcome on the show. You are family, not just for first class, second place, but as Marv said about Bravely Studios before, it's not a podcast studio, it's a community. So welcome to the community. Welcome
thank
to the family.
you.
Yeah. All right. So that is going to do it for this episode of First Class, Second Place. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, the lovely Alana J is in the building. Anybody want to give a shout out to before we close out?
I want to give a shout out to God for bringing me here. No, I'm just kidding.
Lord.
The Lord, my mom, because she's definitely tuning in. She listens to everything that I do.
Yes,
maybe I have two Aunt Karens, a black one and a white one. I think the white one might listen. So shout out to Karen. And my boyfriend Dwayne, who's outside right now. He's on a call right now for a show that I was supposed to be on, but couldn't be on because I'm not there, and I'm really sad about it. But it's okay because they're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. If you're in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, go to the Manship Theater. Check out Mid City Live. That's January 19th. My show is in New York City. My next show is in New York City. January 14th, 9 p.m., St. Mark's Comedy Club. You can catch up with everything that I do. My website is alanaj.tv. My Instagram is alanaj.tv. That's where I be.
Marv, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the 14th the same date as the No Filtered speed dating event? Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Well, look, they got a little promo here for the No Filter podcast. Got a little promo here for the speed dating thing, but yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to make it, but I'll certainly be there to support.
Send them an invoice.
Absolutely. All right, Alana, thank you again so much for coming through. Where can they find you on social media real quick?
Alana J at AlanaJ.tv. That's ALANAJ.tv.
And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, my old account got hacked. That's a story. That's a story for another day. But I do have a new page up, so you can follow me at I am Jason Enrique on Instagram and all social media platforms. Just follow me there. Sorry for the hacking, but you know what? It's a new year, new profile, new shit. Anyway, let's get it. 2024 is on its way with a lot of firepower, baby. A lot of firepower. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning on this episode of First Class, Second Place podcast. We out.